piece that we're going to sing, so she's going to introduce it to us now. About 8 years ago, I was having a faith crisis. I was bothered by some things in church history, and I wasn't sure if I believed that Joseph Smith was a prophet. It wasn't a pretty crisis. I remember hiding in an empty classroom at church and weeping more than once because I didn't feel like I belonged there. I felt like I was lying and being lied to. I decided to read some books about church history in context. While reading, I learned about how William W. Phelps, who wrote The Spirit of God, O God the Eternal Father, If You Could Hide to Kolob, Now Let Us Rejoice, and many other favorite hymns, had been excommunicated 3 times, but died a faithful member. He really wrestled with the prophet Joseph and questioned him and pushed him and made mistakes. But he was there, and he really knew him and loved him and was faithful to him and the church for the rest of his life. I felt a kinship to him, like it was okay for me to question. I then learned he wrote praise to the man as a eulogy and anonymously printed it in the Times and Seasons, a church newspaper, a month after the prophet died. The melody he originally wrote it to was a melancholy, solemn folk tune called Star in the East. The church later changed the melody to the more upbeat one we are familiar with and put it in the hymn book. I looked up the original tune and felt an intense pull to put the words back to their original melody. Before I knew it, I was writing a 3-part a cappella arrangement. I am not a music theorist. I can hardly sight read the treble clef on the piano, but this arrangement came to me over the course of about 2 days, with 3 tiny kids at home and a husband who was gone for 15 hours a day. I felt like I was co-creating it with William himself. When I finished, I knew it was missing something. I wanted to add a descant, and I had a feeling to look at other songs he had written to see if any fit over top, and I found the perfect one, or he showed me the perfect one. This was not my doing, it was his. He wrote this through me. It was one of the more profound spiritual experiences of my life, and I have never doubted that Joseph Smith communed with Jehovah again.
Praise to the man who communed with Jehovah. Jesus anointed him prophet and seer. Blessed to open the last dispensation. Kings shall extol him and nations revere. Hail to the prophet ascended to heaven. Traitors and tyrants now fight him in vain. Mingling with gods, he can plan for his brethren. Death cannot conquer the hero again. Praise to his memory, he died as a martyr. Honored and blessed be his ever great name. Long shall his blood, which was shed by assassins, stain Illinois while the earth lauds his fame. Hail to the prophet ascended to heaven.